I speak unto thee this day, I say, if any man will be my disciple, he must deny himself. That is, he must give way to the higher life, he must give way to the spirit calling, he must give way to what it is that idol living God desire for him. And I say that he must deny himself. I say you are living in a time when there are multitudes of false prophets who have gone throughout the land. And I say they are declaring, they are proclaiming the love of self, and I say they are teaching evil. For I say they are teaching my people to oppose me by worshiping self, by loving self, by obeying self. And I say they are teaching the ones who are meant to die to themselves that they do not even need to do the same. I say they are teaching them lies and hypocrisy, pretension. They are teaching them to trust in the arm of flesh while they are not trusting me. For I say if a man will be dying to himself, he is forced to trust me, he is forced to believe me and walk in my way. But I say when a man is trusting in himself, he is trusting in lies, he is trusting in the arm of flesh, he is trusting in hypocrisy. I say you are living in a time when it is evident by the rottenness that is spread throughout the land and even throughout the world that men have abandoned dying to self. And I say they've taken instead the worship of self, the promotion of self, and I say they are loving it so. I say wheresoever and whensoever you see men and women who have given themselves in abandonment to the love of self, know that rottenness is what comes forth. For I say there will be moral decay on every hand. I say there will be that which is vanity and foolery. And I say that the rottenness will permeate and spread throughout the land because men have stopped dying to self. For I say when self is exalted and self is promoted, and the reliance upon the arm of flesh likewise, I say there can come forth nothing but rottenness from the same. For I say that idol-living God never called men to worship self, to idolize self, to be bound in self. But I say that I've called men to come unto me, to walk uprightly in me, to be ever kept in me. I say that I've called men to be thankful that it is me that they can be looking unto, believing and trusting in. For I say it is me, the living God, who is indeed the way of life and truth, the way of mercy and hope, and the way of strength provided. I say, therefore, this day in a wayward, vile, corrupt, and polluted generation, let it be me, the living God, that you are privileged to serve. That is, let it be me that you keep your focus, your vision upon, and you will continue to the lower power of self in your life. That is, you will make way for the spirit truth, the spirit life that idol-living God desire in thee. And I say that you will do so by denying yourself and taking up the cross that idol-living God desire for thee. I say you are living in a time when the false prophets have spread their lies, and I say they have covered the land. And I say they look to those who promote them, who support them. That is, they are under the curse of dependency upon the arm of flesh. And I say as the reward they teach others likewise that they cannot live without their lives. And they teach them to love self, to promote self, and live in the same indulgence as they are in. I say this day that idol-living God never called men to love themselves, to promote themselves, and yet they do. And I say they do it because they are rebels, they are fools who have turned aside. I say they have taken up the idolatry of self. And I say in the promotion of the same, they are promoting lust, ambition, greed, and all manner of inordinate desire and affection as they should not do so. But I say they do it because they are fools, adulterers, and liars who have gone a-whoring from me. And I say they are teaching the ones who claim that they are my people to live in the same mirage, to live in the same pretension, to live in the same hypocrisy. I say that idol-living God never ever intended that my own people would be covered in lies, would be covered in hypocrisy, would be covered in pretension. But I say that the false prophets have spread themselves out in proud array. I say they think they reign as kings forever. But I say it is me, the living God, who is in this hour, in this generation, bringing down the proud. And I say it is me, the living God, who is ventilating my wrath, my fury, my indignation against the impudent, the proud, the arrogant fools who strut and boast themselves. I say this day that I, the living God, never called thee to walk in the witchcraft, to walk in the foolery, to walk in the vanity of the love of self. But I say that I've called thee to abhor yourselves, to take up the cross, to follow after me. That is, I've called thee to take the opportunity that I give to thee daily, to die to self, to deny yourself, and walk in the same. That is, if you walk in a life of self-denial, I say if you walk in the way that I provide, you are well-pleasing unto me. I say when you have an abhorrence for the denial of self, what do you think that is? I say that is nothing but your fat flesh exhibiting itself, trying to stay in dominion. But I say you are meant to make that thing of a lesser degree, that I, the living God, can have dominion over thee. For I say you are meant to be my spirit people, brought forth in the way that I provide. I say when a man will put his dependency upon carnality, I say he is depending upon that which is rotten. I say so it is when men give up the worship of me to worship self, there can be nothing but moral decay and putridness that sets in as a consequence of the same. For I say when you see a land that is full of the love of self, the idolatry of self, and the worship of self, there is nothing that comes forth but rottenness, degradation, filthiness, and corruption. And I say that the stench of the same is putridness unto me, and I, the living God, am angered at the same. For I say when a land has been given the truth, but rejects the truth to take up lies, I say that men shall pay for the same. That is, because they have chosen the way of whoredom, the way of adultery, the way of lies. That is, because they have chosen to walk in a way that is highly disagreeable unto me, a way wherein they prove they are mindless fools. That is, they are fools who have turned aside, gone a-whoring after that which will only bring them down. Now stop and consider that I, the living God, do not delight in those who turn away, in those who turn aside, in those who take up the ways of the heathen. I say that I do not delight in those who have given themselves over to a multitude of deceptions whereby they think they are some great thing. I say you are living in a time when flesh, that is carnality, has spread itself out in such a pompous and proud display. I say that many are full of religious pride, and I say they have contempt for the truth. And I say it is because they have given themselves to the idolatry, the very abomination that I, the living God, forbid unto my people. For I say not only are they worshiping the idol itself, but I say they are proud of the same. So I say they are under double judgment from me, their Maker, their God, because they've gone a-whoring. That is, they have taken up that which is lies, and I say that they shall be punished in the same. I say this day that I, the living God, do offer unto men the way of righteousness, and I say they are meant to accept the same. That is, they are meant to come forth rejoicing that it is me, the living God, who does offer unto them the way whereby they can be made righteous in me. But I say when they are indeed claiming that it is me that they love, that it is me that they will please, and it is nothing but lies, no, they are blinded fools. For I say they are taken in the way of foolery, vanity, vexation, pride, and the same will prove to be their damnation, their destruction. For I say that I, the living God, am literally full of wrath in this wicked generation, and I say that the proud have kindled the rage in me. That is, they have kindled me to whereby I am exhibiting my holy hatred against their sins. That is, I'm exhibiting my hatred for their pride, the abomination that it is, and likewise their worship of self. And I say that I'm exhibiting my holy hatred for their sinfulness on every hand. For I say they are fools taken in folly, they are full of lust and drunk on the same. And I say daily they exhibit their rebellion against me by the promotion of self. I say when you see that men have made flesh their arm, of course they are cursed, they are cursed, they are cursed by me. For I say that I, the living God, am no respecter of persons, and those who go a-whoring from me, I say they are cursed. And I say that they will be under the wrath, the fury, the indignation that I, the living God, will bring down upon them. Now I say there are many who look upon the rich, the wealthy tycoons who have made their gain out of lies, out of falsehood, out of pretension in the religious realm. And I say they are envious of them, they desire their dainties, and they desire to live as they live. But I say they realize not that those fools are in captivity under oppression and fear day by day. And I say they are slaves to the arm of flesh, they can never escape the same. For I say they gave up trusting and believing in me to look to mere men, to look to their own carnality, to be their redemption. Now fear is their plague. That is, they are ever fearful of losing their kingdoms, their queendoms. They are ever fearful of being brought low. I say they are ever fearful of hearing the truth and walking in the truth, where everything will dissipate before their eyes. And I say they are ever fearful of shifts in the economy, for their kingdoms could easily crumble and fall down. Oh, so you think they have an elevated lifestyle? It is not true. For I say they are ever painting their faces, putting on vain shows, strutting and boasting, while inwardly they are quaking in fear. And I say they are full of distress and unrest, because they are not right with me. And oh yes, they are under the wrath, even though they put on a big smile and act as though they have it all together. It is not true. For I say there are some of them who are literally being driven mad by the fear that stalks them day and night. That is, the fear of the loss of their funding, the fear of the loss of their kingdom, and the fear of the loss of self. I say if you really could see inside of them and the torment they are under, I say you would want no part of the same. For I say fools they are, who have sold their souls to make gain in this life. That is all they will have. But I say that the gain they have made is not so sweet and pleasant to them as they project. But I say it is indeed a torment, a sorrow, and agony, for they are under torment day by day. And I say it is me, the living God, when I pour forth my wrath, who steps up the torment against them. For I say they are a grief, a sorrow, a shame unto me. For I say they sold out for nothing but vanity, and I say they are fools. And I say even though they project in their image that they are so successful, so happy, so wealthy, so well established in this life, I say consider that it is a show. For I say even if they've sold their souls for filthy lucre, I say that the same is a whip upon them. For I say they are never ever satisfied, they can never have enough. I say they are always begging and begging and begging for more. And I say because they are under the torment of the God they worship, and I say they are continually vexed by the same. I say this day that I, the living God, do not call thee to be envious of the wicked who are under the wrath. But I say that I call thee to be satisfied with what it is that I, the living God, do provide for thee. For I say it is me, the living God, who does provide for thee that which is sufficient, and that which is what you have need of day by day. Therefore I say, be thankful for the privilege to love, to serve, to obey me, to be ever guided by me. I say, do not be as the fools who have sold themselves for naught, and in the end will howl in despair. For I say that the wrath upon them is increasing in these days of uncertainty, and I say they are inwardly trembling in fear. And I say they will continue in their demanding and commanding and begging until they are driven insane. For I say they can never find peace, they can never have enough, they can never be satisfied. Now if you consider what a torment, a vexation, and agony that is, I say there is no end to the same. And I say that the older they grow, the more they are terrified of that. That is, they are terrified they will lose their followings as their faces fall and their bodies sag. Oh, what a sorrow it is. And then they seek to prop themselves up, to paint themselves up, to plasticize their faces. But I say, what is the use of it all? For I say they have lost their souls, they have sold out for vanity, and I say they are victims of wrath. And I say that the wrath shall increase upon them because they are sorely displeasing unto me. I say this day that I, the living God, never called my people to be full of the love of self, to sell out, to worship idols, to bow down to the arm of flesh. But I say when they've done those things, denying me, denying the way of my righteousness, to proclaim the rottenness that comes of the love of self, no, they are blinded fools who are hell-bent on their own destruction. For I say they are stubborn and proud and willful and determined to promote the God of self. And I say they are vying one against another, ever struggling and squabbling amongst themselves to see which self shall win. But I say that all of it is rottenness, decay, filthiness, and putridness, and I say they are damned in the same. I say this day be thankful that I, the living God, do give thee the way of truth, the way of light, the way of mercy. Walk in the same with thanksgiving and gladness, that it is me you are privileged to love, to serve, and obey, that you can indeed be receiving of my mercy in the days of my wrath.